This is Crystal Zorich and Mark Octung here at Clearwater Shuffleboard Club, and we're going to talk about blocks, specifically the St. Pete and the Tampa. If you've been around shuffleboard long enough, you've heard those terms repeatedly. You may not know what they are used for. They're used for you to score. That's the number one reason. A lot of people play the block game, a lot of people don't. You can play either game you want, but blocking is a very important part to the strategic game of shuffleboard. Let's start with the St. Pete block. The St. Pete block, you're gonna set it across the court in front of your opponent's vision line. So you wanna put it high on the court, above the point to the left of the point, and to the right of the edge of the court, right in the middle. It can be boring when you're setting blocks, especially if your opponent's clearing. Whenever I play Mark, it's a long game, it's a little boring, but we have a lot of fun with it because all we're waiting for is our opponent to make a mistake with a block. Let's say Mark sticks on my block. Now I have the opportunity to hide behind him. One of the things I recommend doing when your block gets set and your opponent misses it and you have the opportunity to hide, take a deep breath, get set, focus, make your shot. Slow your arm down a little bit so that you don't shoot for the kitchen. That's one of the things you need to do too. Another thing that you can do is actually step into your opponent's side of the court and look past that block where you need to put your disc. Okay, take a view, look left, look right, and then come back and set up, take your shot. Hopefully you set it right where you want it to go. It can be a very effective tool to your strategic game.
St. Pete block should be your go-to block as you're starting shuffleboard. It's the most forgiving. It gives you more opportunities to hide behind it, and it gives your opponent less opportunities to hide behind it. And it's very easy to remember because it's on your opponent's side, basically diagonally across from you. So my suggestion would be for beginners to focus on St. Pete blocks until you really get your accuracy down before you move over to the Tampa blocks.
Again, a hard shot for the yellow opponent to get to. That's a great, great block. That's how you use the St. Pete. The Tampa block is one we prefer more advanced players to use. It's one if you're a beginner you want to practice. Practice when you're not playing in a game because the St. Pete is much safer. The Tampa block is used for you. You're gonna set it on your side of the court, directly across from you on the point. If you err slightly in setting your Tampa, you will give your opponent a very nice block. And what we mean by that is when you shoot your disc down, and let's say it is on the center point, that's not good for you. Your opponent may use it. When it's on the center, it's the first to get there. They're gonna use it. Now, if you set a perfect Tampa, your opponent misses it, you're gonna move over to the number 4 slot and slide your disc right into that 8 where they can't get it, right? Ideally, that's what you're gonna do. If you set your Tampa and it's three inches to the right, you've actually given your opponent a nice St. Pete to get into that 8. So be very careful when you're shooting your Tampas.
Tampa blocks are less forgiving, you have less margin for error, and they can be kitchened a lot, believe it or not. The motion to shoot a disc, to stick a 10 and kitchen that 10 is pretty much the same motion your opponent can use against a Tampa block. So we try to use the Tampa block for more advanced play, or once you're more familiar and you're more accurate.
The drift will also play into consideration when setting your Tampa. There can be drift at the high end of the court. You may not know it when you do your warm-up shots, but you'll find out in the first or second frame of the game very quickly. So pay attention to if it drifts in or out. That'll be really important to know when setting your Tampas precisely on the point. This is a great shot right here, and exactly where you want to place the disc behind the Tampa hide. You shoot it from the 4 spot, you come in on the slide and you slide in here. If you take a step from your opponent's side, it's going to be nearly impossible for them to shoot over and get this disc. This is how you hide behind a Tampa. It has to be precise on the point. This could be argued that it's a little over, but it depends on the drift of the court, okay? That's really important. Use your Tampas wisely.
There's no way the opponent can get to that. They would hit this block to get to that. So that's a perfect use of your Tampa hide.